Is that on? Hey, okay. It was on before and I turned it off. Thank you. Well, that sounds so good. Usually I have to wait until it's adjusted. It is wonderful to be here this morning at the International Seventh-day Adventist Church. And as I was spending some time during the singing of the opening hymn, looking around, and you truly are international. So you're living up to your name. I wasn't asked to bring you greetings from United African, but as the pastor, I bring you greetings from United African Church. And there's a close knit between United African and this church, and it's good to be here today. I was wondering why I was asked to preach today. There are many great preachers around, and it wasn't until is that me? Is it because I'm moving around? Is that me? Okay. It wasn't until they told me the occasion that I realized that they asked me. Somehow they knew that in June I turned 60. So I'm a senior citizen. If I was in London, I would have gotten my bus pass, my free bus pass. But I'm not in London, and Texas isn't giving anything away. No matter how old you are, you've got to pay. So I realize I am part of the celebration today. And I look around and I'm amazed and excited and to see so many young people in the church. Did I get that wrong? I didn't hear a big amen. There's so many young people in the church, and that bodes good for any church. It means you have a future. It's only now that for you now to figure out how to transition, how to pass on the torch, the baton. Those powerful prayer warriors there, and to pass the torch on to the young people, to be able to trust them, that they can handle the things of God, and they can take responsibility within the church. So it's good to see you, and it's good to be here. Today is a very interesting day today, Senior Citizens Day. If you miss most of what I say today, I want you to remember this, senior citizens, that we're going to a place one day soon when the senior won't count. There'll be no more senior, just citizens. And I want you to remember that. Over the past 2 years at the United African Church, and I don't know for you here, we have laid to rest 4 or 5 of our members. And none of them died of old age. None of them. And I'm wondering what it is that you get from a funeral when someone passes, young or old. You've had some tragedies here. You had to experience that yourselves. What do you take away from a funeral service? I don't know about you, but every time I conduct a funeral service or attend a funeral service, I take away this one thing. And I'm introducing it to you today. Is that when a Christian dies, brothers and sisters, we need to remember that this world is not our home. We're only passing through. We are sojourners in this world. We are pilgrims. We're itinerant. We are not settlers. We are aliens in this world. It is not our home. We are just passing through. You see, brothers and sisters, we don't have to be afraid as Christians, because this is not our promise. This is not our final destination. We are in transition, and we need to take this seriously, both young and old. You see, if eternity, which is our promise, if eternity is like the distance from the earth to the sun, which is 93 million miles, if that's eternity, our lifespan, be it as promised 70 or 80, or be it 100, if there's anyone here is 100 yet, no, or be it 100, our lifespan on this celestial lifespan of eternity, our few years here is only a centimeter. That's all it is. Because we are promised as Christians 93 million miles. And this life is only a centimeter. Yet we spend 99% of our energy, our efforts, our means, looking after a centimeter. And very little is applied to 93 million miles. That's all we are. That's all this earth is. That's all this world is for the Christian. All we have is 80 years. All we have is 100 years. All we have is a centimeter. That's all it is. This is not where we are stopping. This is not our place. We are heading towards the sun. 93 million miles. And, you know, I'm going to... Sure, that's not me. That is me, right? Is it this? It's me, right? Yeah, it's me. You're trying to tell me to keep still. Okay, that's better. You did a good job. That's better. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to use an illustration, and that's all it is, because this is international church, which means that the majority of us fit into this illustration and will understand it very well. One of the biggest problems facing the world today, one of the biggest humanitarian issue that's facing the world and the societies of the world and the governments of the world is the massive migration and movement of people from underdeveloped countries, from war-torn areas, from famine areas, from troublous areas, the movement of people to the more developed, the richer world. It's a massive problem. Right now on the doors of Europe, you know, governments are pulling their hair out, the little that they have, trying to figure out what to do with this massive movement of humanity. That is, immigrants moving, trying to escape persecution, trying to escape war and famine, and a great deal simply are economic migrants, trying to have a better life for themselves and their families. And they are landing on the borders and on the shores of the rich and developed countries, and they don't know what to do. In our southern borders of the United States, people, are literally are pushing thousands of their children. Not them, but their children across the border so that their children could have a better life. All movement of humanity trying to find residency and citizenship in this United States of America and in the developed world. Everybody moving towards this better life, that the allure of this better country, seeking residency and citizenship of these countries of ours. And this movement of humanity has become a ball in the hands of politicians all across the world. In Europe, the religious right, the Nazis, not religious right, the right, the Nazis and all the other different factions of hate against people of color, against immigrants and so forth, they are coming to the fore and having seats in parliaments because people are afraid of this movement of humanity that they believe will change their culture, change the culture of their country. It's a sad sight to see. And even here, we have that wise man, our good friend, Donald Trump, planning to build a wall. And he's a wise man. He'll build a wall and he will get the people he wants to keep out to build it and to pay for it. Everybody trying to figure out how to deal with the movement of people. Everybody trying to find residency and citizenship. And many of you here, as I look at us, we fit into this category. Many of you have left persecution and famine and wars and whatever it is, and economic, some of us are just economic migrants coming looking for a better life. And it's amazing what people would do to get citizenship of these United States or Europe. In Europe just this week they found 71 in Austria. 71 people in the back of a truck suffocated and died. Each paid thousands of euros just to get into Germany. Just to get into a land of promise, to get residency. People pay thousands of dollars and just to get standing position on a boat that will not make it across the Mediterranean. This week again, so many are found dead in this boat, in the hold of the boat, suffocated. They go through that, and when you ask, everyone says, even though you know that, would you go through it? They said, yes, we're still going to take the boat. We're still going to take a chance. Why? Because the promise of a better life, the promise of residency and citizenship in these United States and Western society, and many of us, many of you, what you have gone through, many. In England, when at my church, sometime you will hear that there's a young lady might, come for a visit, and their passport is stamped, 6 months. And intuitively, I know that at the end of 6 months, they're not going anywhere. And then, the process begins to see how we can stay in these United Kingdom, in these United States of America, how we can get residency, how we can get citizenship. We don't want to go back home. We want to live in this new country of aspiration and hope. And then the process begins, and they would be looking to me, the pastor, to sign some piece of paper to support them in this roundabout claim to citizenship. And I'm not talking about sinners, I'm talking about God's people. And I'm not knocking it. I am simply illustrating what we would do for citizenship of these countries. What we would do. And many of you have been through so much. And many others have. You've been through rat-infested apartments just to live until you can get your citizenship. Many of you have to put up with landlords who would rob you and maltreat you and wouldn't keep the place, and you still have to pay, and you can't complain because you're not legal.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Some even would leave their beautiful countries, some of us, and just for citizenship, we would marry somebody where back home we wouldn't even look at them twice. Just for citizenship of these here United States of America and Europe. And I'm not talking about sinners. I'm talking about Christians. I'm not talking about Christians. I'm talking about Seventh-day Adventist people of God. And I'm not knocking it. I'm not complaining. I'm simply illustrating. What is it that we would do simply to have citizenship in these here United States and Europe? We were here, my wife and I, and a couple years ago, we just by accident, we found out a friend is coming down to Texas, to Houston. I was wondering, what is this person coming down? They don't know anybody here. Only to find out that they're coming pregnant, ready to give birth in these United States so that the child will be citizen of these United States. And that wise man Donald Trump has got a plan for that. He's intent to put an end to that. And that's not strange. You see, in England, we up until 1983, you're born there, you were a citizen. But Mrs. Thatcher changed that in 1983. You born in England, so that's why this friend from Africa was coming to America, because you're born in England, you're the citizens of your parents' country. The only way you can be a British citizen is if one of your parents is a citizen. So you are fighting that here. We've been through it already. There's nothing new under the sun. But these are the things folks would do just to have citizenship in these United States or the United Kingdom. Having problem on the border between France and the Channel Tunnel. People just running, trying to get on any truck they can, just to jump, just to get through the tunnel. They put their lives at risk. Just for citizenship. And some wait so long. So long. There's one dear lady the other day, at my church, celebrating after 20 years, she got her green card. For 20 years. I can now go back and visit my country. And some of you know, some of you can't even go home to bury your parents. Because you're waiting for citizenship and residency. This is what we're putting into a centimeter. This is the effort and the energy we're putting into a centimeter. And we're not thinking of the 93 million miles minus 1 centimeter. We are simply looking after 1 centimeter, that's all. Young people, that's all. That's all. But I want to tell you today, brothers and sisters, the illustration I'm using, I want to make this point to you today. And the point is, this world is not our home. We're just passing through. We're on our way somewhere else. And Paul records in Philippians chapter 3, verse 20 and 21, in the New International Version or the New King James Version. The King James Version doesn't say it this way, it says another way, but the New King James Version does. Paul says in Philippians 3, 20 and 21, Paul says, our citizenship is where? Is in heaven. Our citizenship is in heaven, and we are waiting. We are waiting for someone from there to come and to change this body, because this body is not an American body. I'm just trying to get this fixed. Sorry, I'm getting too excited. Forgive me. So we're waiting someone, and I want to tell you that someone is Jesus. And when he comes, he's going to change us. He's going to change us so that we can live in our true country of citizenship, which is heaven. That's our true country of citizenship. In Hebrews 15, verse 6, in Hebrews 11, 15 and verse 16, it says that Abraham was looking forward to that country. He's looking forward to that country. A new country. A different country. That's where our citizenship is. That's where our citizenship ought to be. And we just need to put a little more energy, a little more time, a little more effort into securing that citizenship. If you were to put the time and the effort and the energy, someone sitting here today know what I'm talking about. If you were to put that time that you put into getting this American citizenship, if you were to put a fraction of that time in securing your citizenship in that new country, brothers and sisters, this church would be on fire. This church would be alive, because you would know that this is not your home. And what does this country look like, my senior citizens down here on earth? Because I promise you, when you get there, you won't be senior, you'll be just citizen. In Isaiah 65, verse 17 through 25. In Isaiah 65, 17 through 25, it talks about what our country will be like. Our country with our citizenship, what it will be like. And Isaiah, he tells us, he said, behold. I what? Oh, sorry, you don't have it. Behold, I create new heavens and a new earth. Why? Because the former ones, what? Pass away. You're fighting to be a citizen of something that's going to pass away. Are you following me? We're fighting to be citizens. We are setting up residency. We are building houses and occupying them. We are spending our money. We are giving our all. We are educating our young people for a country, for a country that is about to pass away. centimeter. I'm trying to remember, young people, which is smaller, centimeter or a millimeter? It's a millimeter? So I was being generous. Huh? I was being generous. How many millimeter make a centimeter? Yeah, 10, right? 1,000,000 of those make a meter, right? So forget it. You don't have a centimeter. You don't have a centimeter. All we have is a millimeter. A millimeter. And we are working so hard for a centimeter. But what does this our country, what does it look like? Isaiah 65:17, he says, behold, I create new heavens, because the former things are passed away. In this new country that we are going to, there will be a new